Hey nerds! You guys want to see a sleeper hit of a weapon that I honestly think is a bit of a sleeper hit? And something that I've been possibly considering when, at least bringing along when it came to using certain characters like Gunthra? Well, or any character, honestly, Jesus Christ, because everyone loves smoke effects. And of course, daggers have started to really become the smoke effect, would that be headquarters? The one place that you can really get smoke effects almost all the time. And someone asked me what's one of the biggest sleeper hits when it comes to skills. Well, that would probably be Smoke Dagger. And naturally it has, since it's a dagger from the bygone eras of the start of the game, it of course has terrible might. But this is where Weapon Refinery really gets its, sinks its teeth in. And we're going to just talk about this real quick because the effects that happen after this are insane, to say the least. But naturally, of course, when it starts its initial journey, I guess it would be journey, not journey. I don't know what some guy named Journey. Anyways, when it starts in its initial journey, it of course has defense and res -6 on foes, typical smoke effect. But let's just pop over to the refinery and give you guys a bit of a better idea as to what this really evolves into, because a lot of you don't want to touch dagger units and seem to think that they're not that strong, even though honestly I still feel they're getting a lot better. But the one thing that really matters here is when you upgrade to Smoke Dagger Plus, you of course get its additional might. In fact, it goes up from 9 to 12, which is a pretty substantial increase, at least for what Smoke Dagger is. Now, let's talk about the effect, okay? Because I'm sure you can read it right there. It says, after combat, if unit attack, inflicts attack, speed, defense, and res -6 on target and foes within 2 spaces of target through their next actions. Now, before we even start to think about this, let me just point out a few things real quick, okay? That is all of the vital stats that every character uses to do and function correctly. Usually, if it was something like defense and res, it wasn't too big of a deal. At least they still had their attack. This is all of them. This is essentially something that just to give you an example, if we were to use Saizo and then, we were to use Smoke Dagger Plus, it hits them, it affects them. It doesn't kill them, but it does affect them with all of these stat decreasing abilities, and then it spreads outwards onto their team as well. Let's say we had a Gunthra with us. She could go in and absolutely assassinate everyone, not just the one who's injured, but all of the other units, because essentially it's a reverse blade tome. It's basically making it so you get that additional basically an additional 24 damage if you happen to have Blizzard equipped, and I did whistle a little bit there. I do apologize. I think maybe I may be sick. Anyways, and that is one of the bigger advantages to at least using this. Now, another thing about Saizo is that he has really sizable. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one a little bit later. He has a pretty powerful defense. Not the most amazing attack, but he does have pretty sizable defense, so he can actually take a hit, at least for melee units. So, if you happen to have close counter, I'm sure it'll work on him. Or you can transfer his dagger over to another unit, like, say, our good friend. If you don't feel like using a good old-fashioned... Where is it? Alright, let's say you just want to use a different one, maybe someone who has more attack. Well, technically, you could give it to our good friend Takumi. He does have really powerful abilities, he can hit pretty hard, and included into that, well, you can also just add in the debuffs. That Smoke Dagger can work with a lot of characters. You could even work with, as much as I would hate to say it, Jafar. Jafar has his own really powerful advantage that we'll, talk about sometime at a later date. But someone was asking me what my most powerful sleeper weapon is. Probably Smoke Dagger Plus. Berkut's Lance and all the Dragon Stones and healers, of course, have gotten a huge advantage. But I wanted to look and see what some of the more advantageous daggers were. And Smoke Dagger is definitely one of them, just because of its sheer debuff. It's not every day that you have something that can debuff every single stat. Granted, you probably don't want to run Panic Ploy at the same time if you're using that, because, you know, then it becomes a buff, but, hey, if you happen to have a unit that you just despise and want to get rid of as quickly as possible, Smoke Dagger can really help with that, and it can really help with a lot of those Horde-esque maps that tend to pop up. So, yes, Smoke Dagger. Very interesting weapon. A lot of you have been telling me, did you think Smoke Dagger was really powerful? Yes, yes it is. Anyways, that's about it for today, guys. I'm gonna go and lay down. Or actually, no, just be lazy. Thanks for watching, guys. Tell me which weapons you think are pretty interesting in the weapon refinery system. Yeah, system. Why can't I talk today? System, apparently. And tell me which one you think I should cover. I would love to hear it. Anyways, catch you nerds later.